Hello, and welcome to Pearls of Wisdom by Pearl Operational Design. My name is Hazel Lord, and I'm the founder of Pearl Operational Design. If you're new to this video channel, I welcome you and invite you to go back to our other videos and look at what we have discussed previously, which was everything to do with operations. In this video, we're going to talk about that leader. Yes, that superstar who has to look at all of these different elements of the operations and make key decisions around a strategy to ensure that value creation for customers and clients is realized. Now, in some organizations, this role does not necessarily have complete accountability of all of those elements, but either way, the leader will need to be intentional in understanding what are your core processes, what are those things that enable, what is technology, how are you using data effectively, especially in terms of not only just making decisions, but understanding performance. How are you managing your human capital as effectively as possible? How are you nurturing your organizational culture in order for things like growth, a merger or acquisition, or coming together of different groups if you're already residing in a defined organization. And of course, as we talked about last time, staff adjustments in the form of layoffs that can be very disruptive to the organization. Of course, as usual, I am going to use a simple example to help to understand the breadth, the scope of the thinking when you're looking at operations and how you're actually going to realize value. Ultimately, that's what you want to do. And for excellence, you want to make sure that you're doing it as effectively and as efficiently as possible. A home. Now, a home can be where many different people live. It could be two parents with kids. It could be one parent and kids. It can be one person. It could be a group of people who are not even related. But either way, you are doing things. You are waking up in the morning to get ready to work. Certain people have responsibilities for doing things, maybe different, it's scheduled. Maybe you have one of those huge calendars where you're identifying, who's taking out the garbage today. And that's really critical because these are the core processes that help the household, or the home, I like to call it, run effectively. And then you have those people who are making decisions. Those are your decision making. Those people who are thinking strategy. Where are we going on vacation? These are all processes that you execute, whether you have one person who is in front of planning the vacation and they are a fly-by-night, hey, let's just buy plane tickets and see where we go. Or let's make sure we plan everything down to exactly what socks we're wearing on day 2. Either way, these are processes. These are processes that guide, govern, and then you have those things or processes that actually enable. So you have whether it's your technology or your templates, you have your television, you have a schedule for when you watch television. You know what? It's a school night, you're not watching television. It's a school night, put down the video games, or this is at dinner time, no one's using their cell phones. I'm talking technology, but enablers are many things. They could be schedules. They could be enabled as a car, because that allows you to get from point A to point B in the processes you're executing around maybe dropping people to different places, to work, to school. And then you have values. And these values are lived, and these values are actually part and parcel of every aspect of what you do. These are the things that you may not think about. In an organization where a family comes from a certain country, that culture or those values may be linked to what you grew up believing. So it could be your national values, your religious beliefs, how you view certain aspects, your rights, your what you think about climate, and therefore that gets baked into everything you do. We're driving an electric car, although based on their supply chain for the batteries, you need quite a number of miles before it really becomes energy efficient. However, that's a whole different story. And if you are, then you may not be printing paper. You may use everything electronic. These are all then practices, norms, processes that are aligned with the values of we want a sustainable environment. We need to protect the environment. And then you have the people. And we all know people come with their own beliefs. People come with their behavior, their experiences. I have family that have young kids that had teenagers, and we all know they come with their own experiences during certain parts of their life, and you manage around that. You deal with that. So when you see a home, you're executing on processes. Why? Because there's a value proposition there. And the value proposition there is that you are going to ensure that you have an environment that's safe. It's grounded in values for those who may be young and may need that guidance. It has overarching decisions around how you do things, how you will budget. It has tools, it has technology, it has data. We always talk about that report card, that's your data, but it also has other things. You're tracking data on the performance of certain aspects. And so you're looking at that, you're tracking to see, when does this thing need to be repaired? When does this roof need to be fixed? This is all information that you're using, you're tracking in order to ensure that that value of having a safe environment where you enjoy being in a family, maybe not, but you have your practices where you get together for Thanksgiving, you do things together for Easter. I remembered an Easter egg hunt, which we really used to love. When you think of running a household or a home, regardless of how many people live in there are all these very, very similar aspects to running an organization from an operations lens. And so, as I always say, what you're doing in one place, there's a parallel to what you're ending up doing as a leader of operations within an organization. Some of the aspects may be a little bit more different, but fundamentally, you're doing the same thing. If you found this content interesting, you got something out of it, I really hope that you did. I welcome you, as always. Share the knowledge. Thank you.